Welcome everyone to our first Psychology of Play Go-To training session for this month. Welcome to a new class, and I'm going to be talking to you today from 2 to 4 o'clock. The first hour we are going to be talking about the class, what it's all about, the assignments, basically getting you acclimated to a new course since you just started yesterday, and sometimes it can be difficult to switch gears into a new class since things move pretty quickly here at Full Sail. So that's what today's all about in the first half of our lecture. In the second half, we're going to go over some of the concepts from week 1 so that you'll be better prepared to do your discussion board posts later this week, as well as your brain teaser assignment, which is basically the quiz. But we'll get all into that a little bit later. So my name is Stephanie Fetcherin. Some of you might say, oh, that's not my instructor. But we team teach in Psychology of Play. So each week you'll get to hear from a different instructor. So 4 total, which is kind of cool because then you don't get sick of us too much, and you get to hear different perspectives. So we each pick a week to teach that we really enjoy. And I really enjoyed teaching week 1 because it's a great way to just start the tone of the class, get you guys prepared, and hopefully get you a little bit excited about what we're going to be doing this month together. So, as you know, our go-to trainings are recorded. I'm sure it was like that in your previous class. So if you don't get a chance to attend every lecture, that's fine. Just know that the recordings will be posted, as well as any links of videos or things like that that we watch. So we're not taking any attendance or anything like that. Okay, James has a question. Are grades given by a single teacher, or will we have a different scale week to week? Okay, so some of you might see in your class that you have more than one instructor listed. The reason for that is because when an instructor goes on vacation and someone is covering their grading for that time or covering their class for that time, you'll see 2 instructors. So if you have more than one instructor listed in your class, one of them is your main instructor, and then the other one is, the second one is the person that's going to be helping them out when they're on vacation. So sometimes you'll have a different instructor that's going to be grading your work, but we all use the same exact rubric, which we'll go over a little bit later for each assignment. So there shouldn't be any differences there. Good question. Okay. So go-to trainings are every week from 2 to 4 on Thursday. And now let's just go ahead and dive into what we're going to be doing today. So like I said, we're going to go over the class first. But before I touch on that, just if you have any technical issues, this first week is usually when those types of things come up, and we get a lot of messages from students about, oh, I can't open this, or I can't post this, or something's not working. Please make sure you call FSO, because we really can't do anything from our end except for hear your concerns and point you to FSO. So make sure that if you have any technical issues, definitely contact them and try to solve whatever the problem is. But hopefully that won't be an issue this month. So let's take a look inside the classroom. This is just a screenshot of what the platform looks like from my end, but it looks this way for you as well. So let's look at the top here. Can you guys see my mouse moving? Okay, great. I like to play with my mouse sometimes when I'm talking, so sorry if that makes you, I'll have to remember that I have it on so that you guys can see it so I don't make you go crazy. Anyway, up here in the top right-hand side, you can see the notification bell, the message center here. So when you see these little dots, that means obviously please go in and check that. For the bell here, we sometimes send out announcements to you. For example, this week is assignment deadlines are a little bit different because of the holiday. So usually your instructor will send you an announcement to let you know, remind you of what things are due and when. So that's why those are important to check. It also lets you know if you have something that's graded. If your instructor finished grading something, you'll be able to see that in the notifications as well and check on your grade and your feedback. So make sure you do that, because it's really important that you look at your feedback each week from your instructor so that you can make improvements for the following week, okay? Because that's what we're looking for you to take the feedback and make improvements. Also, if you need to get a hold of your instructor, you can just go ahead and click on this message button here and put a new message to your instructor. That's a great way to get our attention quickly. much better than emails. We don't even really use our email much anymore for things like that. Also, make sure that just because it's in a message type format that you're using, good spelling, grammar, and greetings when you're speaking to your instructor, and make sure you ask a specific question like, I need help with this. We're not going to know what you're talking about. So please make sure that you are definitely going into each activity and writing a comment to your instructor there, or right up here in the top with that message button. Okay, but still, definitely still check your your emails, because occasionally you will get something important from the university. So that's just a good habit to get into anyway. Okay, so let's look at what we have in terms of content here. Here is the getting started activities. I've kind of expanded this so you can see what's included. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 activities. This is where you start in the class. And basically it's set up pretty easy. You go down, you start from the top, go down to the bottom, and just go through things in order. It's a lot easier to keep track. And also, if you've noticed, you get these pretty little orange marks when you finish it, when you finish an assignment, and it's a good way to just keep track of your progress and where you are in the class, okay? Only thing I want to say here is none of these things are graded. If you see here, it says 0% weight, 0% weight. That means it doesn't have a grade. But if you don't click on it and complete it, you will see like 100 or a 0 here. If you get a 0, let's say, and meet your instructor, it's not going to affect your grade, but it won't have that pretty nice circle. So just try to complete all the circles. It's like a game. You just work your way down. Professionalism is 10% of your grade. Some instructors grade this week by week, but others instructors, like I, grade that at the end of the month. And basically we take off points for every incomplete graded assignment that's weighted. So your weekly discussion boards, your weekly plans, things like that. Those were things that we would take off professionalism points for. Okay. Any questions so far? All right. Getting started stuff is pretty straightforward. It shouldn't take you more than 20 minutes to go through those. Okay. So hopefully you're not looking at the assignments like, oh my God, what is all this stuff? What are all these assignments? You go from your last class to this class, and hopefully your eyes aren't bugging out of your head like, whoa, this is a lot of work, or this is different, or I don't know where to find things. That's why we're going to go over it today. Okay, don't worry, Kevin. You'll feel better by the end of this first hour. You're going to know what to do and know what we expect. Okay, so let's break up week 1. Now, I'm going to try to say this more than once because I don't want to confuse you guys. It is week 1. It also is Thanksgiving. So the due dates are a little bit different in week 1. But after week 1, you will have the same due dates each week. So it's pretty easy to, once you get into the hang of it, know when things are due. But like I said, we send out reminders of when assignments are due in the announcements. So if you see that little, dot up at the top, make sure you're clicking on your notifications and reading those reminders. Okay, so week 1, you're probably thinking, let me just get through today. Well, you're here. So you've already done your 1.2 live lecture. Congratulations. What else is due today? Okay, we have 2 things due today. We know it's Tuesday, but that's how it is here at Full Sail. Things start on Monday, and you might have a deadline that same day or that next day. That's why it's always important to check your platform every single day. So you have your 1.1 Essentials E3 pre-assessment activity. That's only 1% of your grade, but it is due today. 1%, not a big deal if you miss this, obviously 1%, but it is important that you do it because you're going to take it again at the very end of the class and then think, oh, okay, how did I change throughout the month? That's why it's an assessment, and I'll go over that in a little bit more detail in a minute. Okay. So that's due tonight. We also have the weekly plan due tonight, due Tuesday. Every week your weekly plan is due Tuesday. Okay, that's not going to change. So just get in the habit on Monday or Tuesday doing that weekly plan. If you're like, what the heck's a weekly plan? Don't worry, we're going to go over it. 5% of your grade each week. Okay, now let's look. Who can see what is worth 10% of your grade this week? What assignment? Which means that's the largest percentage assignment for this week. Who can find it? The discussion. Yes, 1.6, exactly. So your discussion board is 10% of your grade each week, okay? I'm repeating myself when I say that because this is where you want to spend a lot of time on this assignment because it will significantly impact your grade each week, okay? The discussion board post. Now, this week it's due on Wednesday because Thursday is Thanksgiving. So we wanted you to guys just get it done and over with so you can enjoy your holiday, okay? Usually they are not due until Thursday. So week 1, your discussion post is due Wednesday. 2, 3, and 4 weeks, it's due on Thursday. Okay? Then you have your brain teaser, which is basically a quiz that's due. Again, this is a different due date. It's due on Monday. So we give you an extra day because of the Thanksgiving holiday. So here's all the due dates here. Okay, the 26th. Then, if you notice, 1.6 discussion, you're like, well, what's this? I see November 26th. That's Monday. Why is that due Monday? It says initial post due Wednesday. Well, that's a 2-part assignment. I don't know did you guys have to do discussion boards in your last class? If you're coming right from class 1? Okay. So you guys know the drill. Okay. Might be different in creative presentation, but in this class, you will do your initial post, in this case, due on Wednesday. And then you have to do your reply posts, which are due usually on Sunday, but this week's special and due on Monday. James says, is there a class that doesn't have discussion in Full Sail? Probably, maybe later. I don't know. That's a good question. But definitely in your core classes, which are the first 4 classes that you take, you are definitely going to have discussion. So just prepare yourself for that. Okay. Let's move on. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot one last thing. 1.8, bonus material. That is bonus material. That is not required. It's not graded. It's extra reading if you feel so inclined to learn more about the topics each week. Definitely check it out. Save it if you want. You don't need to read it all at once, but just for you to have some more information. All right. So now we're going to go through each assignment. I know we have a question about the discussion board, but we're going to get to that in a minute. Let's talk about the E3 assessment because that's what you're going to be doing today. Hopefully some of you have already done this. Like I said, it's only 1% of your grade. It only takes maybe about 10 minutes. All you have to do is log in with the link, fill out the information here, and it's basically going to ask you, it's going to actually list behaviors, and it's going to ask you if you exhibit those behaviors at this point in your life. So it's not a personality test, which focuses on traits that are fixed, right? Like things of your personality that you've had throughout time, but rather behaviors. So that means it's changeable. So you might take it now, and then you might take it, you are going to take it again at the end of the month, and you'll see that your results could have changed because behaviors are things we can change, right? And this class is not only about learning about the psychology of play, but it's also encouraging your personal, professional, and academic growth and making some improvements on those areas this month. Okay, so it's kind of like I don't want to say like a self-help class, but it kind of is. You're going to do a lot of reflecting on yourself. But that's pretty much what psychology is all about, right? Learning more about yourself. So some of you that have already taken this have said that you found it kind of helpful. Okay. It basically gives you your results, and it has this pretty chart, which you can actually click on each scale to see what it means. And when you receive your results in your email, they are confidential. That means I don't get a report that you completed it. So all you have to do is click that you completed that activity at the end of that assignment to receive credit. Okay. And you should get your results pretty instantly. So if you didn't get your results after 10 minutes, it could be an issue. Okay. All right, so when you're taking the test, just click on words that describe how you actually behave, not how you think you should behave or how you want to behave. Just don't really overthink it. Just click. Okay. So Christine says it was really spot on. Yeah. So, and if you do it like that from a really honest place, you'll find that your results are like, oh, yeah, that does kind of sound like me. So it gives you recommendations for each behavior area in addition. So look at those, say, okay, it says I need to work on my aggression. That's really high on my scale. I am going to this month work on decreasing my stress and working on anger management techniques. Okay. Esteban says there's a few words I didn't understand. Okay, so what you're going to do then is you're going to go to the scale definitions, and it's going to explain what each scale means, like definition, and then also some examples through there. Okay. And if you have any questions after you look at that, then please reach out to your instructor, and we'll be happy to go over your results with you. We had to do a training on this. Yeah, so it obviously has abbreviations for what things stand for. So let me give you an example. Like low mentoring, right? Mentoring is on there. If you scored low, maybe you want to push yourself to volunteer to help other people, or think of someone that could use your help and reach out to them and offer your help in your workplace, or make an effort to compliment other people. Those would be some ideas of ways to start implementing that to change your results. And then at the end of the month, you can compare your two scales and say, hey, look. Because he says, help other people, I need help. Yeah. Okay. So make sure you read through all of that documentation. Okay. Now, let's talk. Any questions about the E3 before we move on? All right. Pretty simple. Like I said, won't take you more than 10 minutes. All right. So what are the things that we're grading you on each week? Esteban said there was words on the actual test I didn't understand. Okay. In that case, as you're going through the test, I would have like Google up in the background. And so you can Google the definition if you're not sure what something is. And then you can be like, okay, that fits for me, or no, that doesn't. Okay. All right. Okay. It seems like that's what a couple other people did. Good job. All right, graded assignments. You're going to have your weekly plan due every Tuesday, except for this week. What day is it due this week? No, I just messed that up. Sorry. Oh my God, please don't make me confuse you more. Okay. Weekly plan is due every Tuesday. Today is Tuesday, right? Yes, today. Okay. Now, discussion board post is due this week. What day? Discussion board post, your initial discussion board post. Wednesday, yay. Okay, good. The rest of the weeks, it's due on Thursdays, okay? Your response posts are usually due on Sundays, but this week it's due Monday, and your brain teaser also due every Sunday. However, this week due Monday, okay? So just think this week you have an extra day to complete those assignments. All right. So what do we expect on all these assignments? What are we looking for? How do you get an A in this class? That's what we're going to talk about next. Work hard, says Kevin. Yes, exactly. How do we do the assignments? You know, if you follow directions in this class, you will do very well. Okay? I'm going to tell you that. Because we are looking for specific things. Because, like I said, this class is a reflection class. You're going to be reflecting a lot on yourself, on your behaviors, on how you're playing and how you're doing all these things. Well, we're not grading you on that. We're not grading you on whether you're playing enough. We're not grading you on the content. We are just making sure that you understand the material and that you're answering the questions how in the amount that we want you to. Gussie says, uh-oh, creative people don't follow directions well. Well, I'll help you out. I'll make it really simple, okay? So the weekly plan is due today. If you already filled it out and then we go over this and you say, oh my gosh, I didn't do that, Well, you can resubmit it. No big deal. It's not due until 11:59 p.m. All right. Question, Kevin says, I got rid of the 1s, 2s, 3s on the sheet, but I filled that out. Is that okay? You need to list here, it says up here, list 3 each day. So you need to have 3 every single day. Okay? Now, it doesn't have to be anything crazy for those priorities. I'm actually going to show you an example as we go through. So, for work, that's work, play, fit, push. This is a model created by a woman called Amber Ray, who's the founder and CEO of the Bold Academy. And she uses this to balance areas of her life that are important. And we felt that this would be perfect for you guys to start and create some balance in your life, because it's not all about work. It's not all about play. It's all about balance, all these different things. So instead of mapping out your day hour by hour, which you typically see in traditional planners, this is you're going to identify what you want to accomplish by the end of the day or week, okay? And it's also going to allow you to have some flexibility. You don't have to say, I'm doing this from this time to this time. It's just in general. Okay. So at the beginning of the week, you're going to download your plan and you're going to fill it out right into the template. Okay, you download it and you can type directly in it and then save it and upload it to the platform when you're finished. So, for work, 3 things, 3 priorities. This can include housework. This can include tasks that you need to get done at your job. This can include tasks that you need to get done for your career. Maybe you want to work on a resume or something. Or this could include tasks for this class. So let me show. This is the best. We should start there. Okay. This is an example of someone that completed their plan and got a 100. 3 priorities for each day. Now, notice some of them are personal, some are professional, some are related to the class. You can pick whatever you want for here. It's not up to us. We're not grading you on what you put here. We're just grading you that you did it. Pick 3 priorities. I know for me, I have a family, so a lot of times on my plan, it would be things like preparing the kids' school lunches for the next day, or remembering to bring home something on Friday for the kids, because I constantly forget that. Kevin said, can some be more than 3, or is 3 the limit? If you can fit another one in there, that's fine. More is good if that helps you. Yeah, that would be fine. Okay, any questions about the work category? Top 3 priorities. Okay, James has a question. If you want to raise your hand, if it helps to speak on the microphone, you are welcome to do that. All right, so when you go about doing your work priorities, and James says, can the priorities be a focus on not doing something, like forcing yourself not to work? I think that would actually fit better under push. Okay, so let's say you're working too much and you're realizing that it's becoming unhealthy in some way. Then you would put that in the push category, because the push is an area where you're pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone. Okay? So that would probably fit better there. All right. So, has anyone ever heard of the technique called eat the frog? Okay. Quenisha's heard of it. Okay. Basically, when you look at your list, we don't have times to do our top 3 priorities. We just say, okay, this is on our list. A good technique to try when you actually use your plan, because we are intending for you to actually use this plan, right? It's for you. It's not for me. I'm not going to use it. You're going to use it. You can eat the frog. That means you look at your top 3 priorities and you say, which of these do I least want to do? Which is the frog? I'm going to eat the frog first. I'm going to get rid of it and move on to the tasks that don't seem as overwhelming. So maybe for you, school is a challenge. Getting assignments done on time is a challenge. Then definitely get that done and out of the way first. Do your weekly plan first thing, if that's what you're struggling with, and then move on to your other tasks. Make sense? So that's something to, you guys are making jokes. That's something that you can do to help when you're looking at your plan, like, what do I do first? Eat that frog. Do the least desirable one first. All right, let's move on to play. Play is the fun one, but basically we're telling you in this class that every day this month, we want you to engage in an activity that brings you joy. Something that helps you clear your mind. Something that helps recharge your batteries when you're feeling stressed. Because it's all about balance, right? We're going to talk about in the next part of the lecture what play means to you so you can understand exactly what I mean by this. But here's an example of a person's play. Oops, jeez. I hope I'm not making you dizzy. Okay, so this person has play. They have skateboarding, basketball with brother, play PC game, movie night with friends, date night, spontaneous Saturday, start a new art piece. I mean, I basically made up this plan with different ideas. So whatever is fun for you, you put that on your plan. Sometimes you might have the same thing 3 days in a row. That's okay, because you might go to the playground Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday with your 3-year-old son, says Quenisha, right? So you might already have that in your schedule, so that's just something you do. But it has to be something you enjoy. So don't just put something that seems like play, but you don't really enjoy it. Really pick something that's going to help recharge your batteries. And it doesn't have to be, even if you say, I don't have time to sit down and watch a movie, like I have stuff to do. Okay, pick something that's 5 minutes. It could be play a game on your phone like Tetris, that's super relaxing, for 5 minutes that day in the middle of your workday when you need a break, right? It could be something little, it could be something big. Gussie says, can it be romantic? Sure. Get your families involved. Get your partners involved. A lot of times students reflect on the class at the end of the month. And they say, I really enjoyed this because I ended up spending more time with my family because I purposely planned something to do with them on the weekends, or to do something with my husband, or to do something with my wife or my partner, right? So definitely a great idea. Any questions about play? All right, so let's go on to fit. Basically, investing in your physical health has numerous benefits, right, on your well-being. It's not just about playing, but mental activity is going to help you stay healthy, impact your brain, and it helps your ideas from moving forward. So if you ever find yourself stuck creatively, the best thing you could do is actually physically move your body. It kind of triggers your brain to get unstuck. Now, I'm not talking just about physical activity. Let's say you have a disability, or let's say you have an injury, and physical fitness is not something that you're able to do right now. Well, there's also mental health activities, or meditation practice, or something that's good for your overall well-being. It could be trying to quit smoking. It could be drinking 6 cups of water a day. It could be a different lifestyle change in your diet, right? Okay, these are all things that are going to help your body and mind. Okay. Reginald said, so I can put my workout list for fit. Right, exactly. If you like to work out, put it on there. It's whatever works for you. Okay. This is your plan. All right. Any questions about the fit category? All right. So let's move on to push. Quenisha says, it's getting cold. I have to find some indoor exercises. Yeah, so this would be a time when you can think of, okay, what am I going to do for fit that's inside? Right? It has to work for you. Yoga, says Kevin. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about push. This is, like I said earlier a little bit, an area to learn and grow. So doing something that will push you outside of your comfort zone. So challenging yourself to learn something new, or working on something that was in your E3 that was low and that you want to make higher, or that was too high and you want to lower, right? Maybe I think someone said, oh, I have to find a girlfriend. Hey, that could be in your push section. Talk to one new person a day when you're out and about. Whatever it is that you want to work on, maybe something that doesn't, sometimes this is the most neglected area because we're like, oh, I have to work. Like, I don't have time to do this extra stuff. I'll get to it later, you know? But you need to think of it as, I'm going to do a little thing every day to push myself. It's going to motivate me. I'm going to feel accomplished, and that's going to help create some movement forward. Esteban says, I do a lot of my fitness at work. Yeah, a lot of people, I've heard a lot of people, like, for example, in my class last month, I had a student that worked, I think it was at UPS, and he's like, I load boxes all day long, and that is my fitness for the day. Like, I can't do anything else other than that because I would be tired. So he ended up putting some things in his fit that were different, like drinking enough water at work, or doing a brain game or something like that. It doesn't always have to be so physical. All right. Okay. See, we have someone in here who works for UPS, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. All right. Or you could, make a challenge with the people at your work, like, some type of fitness challenge. You can load as many carts, or I don't know what you load, but in this amount of time, right? Make it into a fun fitness challenge startup at your work. Cameron's like, I work at FedEx. This means war. Oh, jeez. Okay, so that's push, doing something outside of your comfort zone. So let's look at some examples. Here is an example of someone who does the bare minimum. Okay? They're going to get points off here because they're basically just copy and pasting every day. Now, I did say, oh, well, what if I play the same, video game every day? Like, that's my play for me. Okay. Well, at least put what game you're going to be playing, or maybe you're going to be playing one day in a competition, put the name of the competition, or maybe you're going to be videotaping yourself playing another day and posting it to YouTube, then put YouTube video, So don't be so, don't be so basic, right? This is a basic plan. Be a little bit more detailed, because the more specific you are, the more likely you are to follow through, right? So, like, look at this plan. On Monday, this person's going to sleep. Okay, we all know that we have to go to sleep. You don't need to put this in your plan, okay? This is obvious thing. Okay, schoolwork. Okay, what are you going to do on Monday? Are you going to do your weekly plan, or are you going to do your E3, or are you going to do the readings? Like, what schoolwork are you going to do? Be more specific. The layout that I'm showing is just a screenshot of the top of the plan. You'll notice it looks a different color because each week the plans are a different color. So that way we know that which week that you're turning in the correct plan. So make sure each week even though the plan might seem the same, the questions at the bottom change. So make sure you turn in the correct plan. Okay. For push, network. They have network. Like, what are you doing to network? Are you signing up to go to an event? Are you handing out your business card to people, or are you, I don't know, what are you doing to network each day? And these can be like little tasks, like push on Monday, I'm going to make my business cards. Tuesday, I'm going to order my business cards. Wednesday, I'm going to get my business cards and I'm going to hand them out. Like, you can split it up into mini goals if you want. All right. Now, this is a basic plan. This is the bad plan. The basic, the bad, and the best. This is the bad. This person did not fill out their plan. There's blank spaces here. Automatically, I'm going to say, oh, points off, not completed. Okay? This person on Saturday says they're going to shower. Okay, maybe if you shower once a week, that would be appropriate to put on your plan. But hopefully you'll be showering more than once a week. And I don't really need to know that. A lot of this stuff I don't need to know. And just know that we skim these. We're not looking at like, oh my gosh, they're going to a club event on Thursday. What does that mean? Like, we're not here to judge you. We don't care what you're doing. I mean, we do care, but we want you to just do what you're going to be doing. Like this, if this isn't real for you and you're just putting something you think we want to see, then it's not benefiting you. Okay. So be honest. Um, they they barely did anything. Yeah. So they like gave up after Wednesday and they're like, I'm not doing anything else. It can be simple. It doesn't have to be too complicated, okay? But you still got to fill out the plan. So let's take a look at someone that got 100. You can see they have a variety of activities. I put a variety. I actually made this plan myself to be an example. You don't have to have as much variety as there is here, but I wanted you guys to see like some examples of what types of activities you could do, because you might be thinking like, what, I don't know what to do to play, or I don't know what kind of things she wants here. So this was just an example. Okay. So if you look at the bottom, don't forget, if you miss your week 1 reflection questions, or if you miss the questions at the bottom of your plan, it's an automatic 20 points off. So you automatically are at an 80. Okay. So answer the questions in 5 to 6 sentences. Okay. We are looking for 5 to 6 sentences anytime we ask you a question in this entire class. If it's a discussion board or if it's on here, that is just a college level answer. Okay. Be detailed. Explain yourself, right? So the first question, what goals are you struggling with to achieve? So basically, what are you going to be working on this month? What's something that has been maybe something you've struggled with and you are going to make a commitment to improving this month? Kevin said in the week 1 reflection questions, question 1, I put more than 6 sentences. Should I shorten it? No, it's just a guideline. If you want to write more than that, and plenty of people write more than that, but it's just a minimum. So please don't do any less than that or you will get points off, okay? And then number 2, how could you use this plan to achieve your goals? Okay, how are you going to work on your behaviors this month, and how can your plan be a part of that? Okay, so give an example. It's always helpful to give an example. So for example, I am going to put in my push category, talk to one more person at work once a week, so that way I can continue working on my ability to connect with others. There we go. That's what, I don't know. That was a long sentence, but you could break that into 2 sentences. There's 2 already. Then you could give another example, right? So examples are your friends. Any questions about the weekly plan? Because I want you guys to turn these in on Wednesday and feel like I did good on that. I understood that. James says to resubmit, just redo it, and when we submit, it'll override. It will actually list both, like you'll see both files are there, but your instructor will see that when they download the plans, and they'll click on the most recent one because it has a timestamp. So don't even worry about it. All right. Any other questions? Okay, Kevin says, wait. Okay, Kevin, what's your question? What should the word assignment be named? It actually used to matter to us what you would put, but now the platform downloads all of your assignments with a folder that has your name on it already. So you can label it whatever you want. Weekly plan 1, just something that you can keep track of it and save it to your computer. What should the... Please give me an A. That's what you're going to call it. That'd be funny. I would laugh at that. Okay. If your instructor is particular about that, I'm not sure of anyone that is, but if they are, they'll let you know and they'll tell you. Change that for next time, please. All right. Time batching and peak performance. What am I talking about here? Basically, when you're looking at your plan and you're planning out your week, you might feel like distractions are everywhere, right? You're constantly looking at your phone, you're constantly checking your email or Facebook or whatever, and you're juggling all these different tasks. Well, when you do that, you're more likely to make a mistake and you'll actually end up being less productive. So, in the reading this week, you'll see that we talk about time batching. So, it's basically a way to bundle or group related activities into specific days or blocks of time, and that's going to help you be more productive. So if you save for a certain time of the day to check your emails instead of checking your emails every 10 minutes, you're more likely to get your work completed faster. So the tasks that you batch together should require similar resources, right? So you don't have to stop and start and stop and start. So like I said, for example, set a time each day to check your email rather than stopping what you're doing every hour to do that, right? Turn it off. Turn off the notifications so you don't get a notification and then check it when you are having that time for checking email. And that's going to free up your time for other things, including play. Because we want you to not feel like, oh, well, this instructor is giving me all this extra stuff to do. Now I got to have fitness every day and play every day. So we also want to give you strategies on, okay, well, how can you free up time in your schedule? And time batching is one way to do that. So I know for me, I do a lot of my shopping for the week. I do meal planning for my family, what recipes I'm going to be cooking, all the stuff for the kids' lunch boxes. I do that on Sunday. So that way I'm not every morning spending 30 minutes trying to like, what am I going to cook? Or I got to go to Publix and I'm missing this ingredient, or, it's just a way to get it all done and organized in the beginning of the week. So that way I can just get it cooked and ready to go out of the house in the morning fast. James said, one question with time batching. I write scripts and then put together an entire video in a day or so. When it comes to time batching, can we batch one activity into several different times? If I sit down and do it all at once, I could go insane or burn out easy. Yeah, so you definitely don't want to do all of it at once because, like you said, then you're going to get burnt out. And you do want to make sure you're taking breaks. If you're doing something that requires a long amount of time, you do want to take breaks for play. So you might even want to split up into two times, and then in between say, okay, now I'm going to do like a fitness activity for 30 minutes, or now I'm going to go do something fun to take my mind off this project, right? So we're not saying get everything all done all at once, right? But batching similar tasks together, like if you have to run errands, doing all of your errands the same day. Instead of getting in your car each day and driving to one store, you do it all at once, right? So that's kind of what we mean. Okay. Let's talk about peak performance. So everyone has a time when they are on point, when you are motivated and you get work done. For me, it's the morning. It's not early. Like, I don't like to wake up early. Like, if I wake up before 7, I'm not a happy person. But from 9 until lunchtime, I get the most work done during the day. So that's when I do my grading for class and I get all those things that require a lot of my attention done in the morning because that's my peak performance time for that type of task. In the afternoon, after I have lunch, I'm like, okay, I'm ready for a nap. Like, this is my tired time. Right. So then that's not a great time to do grading because then I get distracted or I'm not motivated or I'm tired and I can't focus and I have to reread things over and over and over again. Right. So make sure that when you're planning out your day, you pay attention to your peak performance time. Usually that's when you want to do creative tasks or work for this class, right? During those times where you can be efficient and effective. Right? Some people are owls, right? And that means their peak performance time is at night. That would be a good time to do your work. Just make sure you submit it before 11:59 p.m. So pay attention to when your peak performance time is. and then that will help. If you want to know more about peak performance time, you can read about that in your readings for this week. But for the sake of time, I'm going to move on and talk about the discussion board. So the discussion board, who remembers how much is this worth each week? What percent? Good job, Kevin, 10%. So this is where you're going to spend a lot of your time. Now, your last class, you're making presentations and doing this. Basically, this class, you're going to be doing writing. This is a self-reflective class. You're going to be turning in and you're going to be doing a lot of writing. So if writing is not your strong suit, please, please, please reach out to the Writing Center and get some assistance. That's what they're there for. That is a resource that you have as a Full Sail student. They will go over your work. They will help you, give you suggestions on how to add more details, etc., etc. Okay, here is the rubric for what I'm looking for here. Okay, so this is what you're going to see each week, your breakdown of where you're getting points for this assignment. So if you address all the questions, you get 30 points. There's anywhere from 4 to 6 questions on the discussion board. How many sentences should each question be? 5 to 6, Kevin. You are on point today. Yes. So each question answered in 5 to 6 sentences or more. That's okay too. Provides clear and specific examples or concepts. Yes, we are asking you to refer back to the readings. The readings are basically like the textbook for this class, but the platform's really awesome, and we put all of our content under readings in each week. So you need to do the readings first before you can even answer these questions, because you're going to reflect on the readings. So you're going to say, oh, I really liked learning about the play personalities. I believe my play personality is the artist creator because I like to blah, blah, blah. Here's a time, or here's another example of how I'm this play personality, right? So you're going to be talking about the concepts. Responds to at least 2 classmates using the RISE model. So you have to reply to 2 classmates by the Sunday deadline or the Monday deadline for this week, and use the RISE model, which we'll go over in a minute. Okay, as Kevin says, RISE model you use in creative presentation. Perfect. So then you should already be familiar with this. So we're looking for, if the RISE model is 4 levels, we're looking for at least 4 sentences for each post to your classmate. Okay? Make no spelling and grammatical errors, right? This is why I said writing is important. We are preparing you for English. Okay? When you get to English, they don't joke around. Okay? So 10 points just for no spelling grammatical errors. Okay? So make sure you have someone proofread your work before you submit. It's always a good idea to type it in a Word document first and then copy and paste it into the platform. All right. Meets the initial post deadline or post initial post and responds to 3 classmates. What does this mean? Okay, if you meet the deadline, which is typically on Thursday, except this week it's Wednesday, you get 10 points automatically. Perfect. You did it on time. However, if you for some reason cannot get it done on time, we understand that sometimes things come up. This is your chance to okay, I can't do it until the weekend. I really have too much going on. Okay, that's fine. If you want those 10 points, though, then you have to respond to an additional classmate using the RISE model. Okay? So what is this RISE model? Most of you guys are familiar with this. I'm not going to go over it. It's pretty straightforward. If you use this chart, you print it out, and you have it next to you, or you have it up on your screen while you're doing the RISE model, your replies, you're not going to have a problem. Follow the formula. Look at this example. I relate, concur, disagree with X because ... Fill it in. Just go through. And once you do it a few times, you'll get the hang of it, and you won't even really need to look at this. Okay? But this is how you give meaningful feedback to your classmates. Also, please go back and read. If your classmate takes the time to respond to your post, maybe they have something helpful to offer, a suggestion that you might think, oh yeah, I never thought of it that way. Okay, read what they write. This is your chance to interact with each other and connect. That's why we have discussion boards in each class, because you aren't in a traditional classroom. You can't turn to the person sitting next to you and have a talk about what we're learning about in class. So this is where you do it. So please always check when people write things to you. Feel free to respond back to them. And sometimes it's nice to reply to a different person each week. I had a student one month, he was so upset because he's like, not one person replied to me this entire month, because, he did his post towards the end every week, which is okay. He could do that. But he was like, man, no one like scrolled down, and, everyone just replies to the first few people and they don't keep scrolling. So challenge yourself, reply to a new person each week so that everyone can get your wonderful, meaningful feedback, right? Okay. Any questions about the RISE model? Sometimes people will say, oh, I don't know what to say to this person. Like, I don't really, okay. So don't reply to that person. Keep going. You have, 25 people in your class. So find a post that you can either relate to, or someone that you're like, oh yeah, I could see some suggestions for them, right? That's what discussion, it's back and forth process, is not stagnant, right? Okay. Brain teaser. What is this? Teasing your brain? It's really just a quiz. But the good thing is, it is an open book quiz, which means you can have the readings open in another tab while you're answering the questions. Okay? So, tips. Read the readings first. Don't just start taking the quiz and thinking, oh, I can guess the answers. No. Have it open in a separate tab so you can reference it. We're not trying to trick you here. We are trying to give you some ideas, or, we just want to make sure that you understand what you've read, basically. So don't wait until the last minute to start your quiz. If you start today or tomorrow or the next day, you won't feel like you have to rush through it at the end of the week. You also don't have to complete your quiz in one sitting. So if you choose to work on your quiz for an hour or two, take a break, then go back to the quiz, your responses will be saved. So that's a good thing. But once you click submit, you cannot go back and reopen it. So make sure you're confident with your answers before you click submit. All right, in terms of getting your answers or seeing the correct answers once the activity closes, so if it's due on Sunday night, Monday morning you'll be able to go back on, see your grade, and see which questions you didn't get correctly. Okay, you guys are like, oh my gosh, please get the clown off the screen. All right, please. Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. Questions. I just wanted to get your attention. You might be falling asleep now. We've been here for 53 minutes. Gotta wake you up. Any questions about assignments, about the platform, about the plan? Any questions about that? You feel confident? You feel better? Like, okay, I got a handle. I know when things are due. I know what is expected of me. Read instructions. We try to be as clear as possible. Okay. I am glad to hear it. All right, so let's move on and talk about play, because that's why we're here, to learn all about play. So let me do a little poll real quick. So what were your first thoughts on this class? You should see a poll that popped up on your screen, so you can go ahead and vote directly in that poll. What were your first thoughts about this class? I see all of you are paying attention because no one's looking away on their screen. Only one person. Did you know that I can see when you are exited out of the slides? Interesting fact about GoToTraining. Okay, this is anonymous, this poll, yes. I don't know who's writing what. I just know 78% of you have voted. I'll give you another 10 seconds. All right, so 81% of you have voted. Here's the results. So 37% of you said, I'm intrigued, what is this all about? Pretty common response to this class. We are actually the only class that I know of, and we've looked in the country that has a class called Psychology of Play. So we're going to learn what that's all about today. 33% of you are like, awesome, I love to play. Anything about play, I'm down. You're excited. That's awesome too. Another common reaction, what does this have to do with my degree? Exactly. You're thinking, what the heck? Why am I taking this class? Well, you do have to take a psychology class because of our accreditation. You have to take a psychology class, you have to take your English class, right? But we want you to have a class that's not just about typical psychological concepts. We don't think it's really important that you learn about all the theorists like Freud and Carl Jung and all these former psychologists from the past. We want you to have a class that's tailored towards you. So this class is pretty much all about you and creating balance in your life and also valuing play and seeing why play is so valuable to not just children, but to adults and how it's going to be helpful to you in your career. All right. So I like this quote from Albert Einstein. Hold on, let me close the poll. Boop. Okay. Play is the highest form of research. Play is where we get inspired. Play is what boosts our creativity and makes us excited, right? Kevin wanted to type in the chat box his response for the vote. I love this because I know as a game designer, I have lots of fields to master because to be a cohesive collaboration. A psych class is good for time management with the teams I'll be working with. Exactly. You're going to be working with a lot of different people, and being able to incorporate some of these ideas is definitely going to be helpful. So hopefully you will have a little fun along the way, even though this is not necessarily something that you would, have thought to be in your degree program. But all of you have something in common, right? You're here because you're following a creative passion. You're looking for something more. You're not at a traditional university. We're not going to give you a traditional psychology class. And a lot, if 33% of you, I can tell, are already players. You already know how to play. You love playing. That's probably another reason why you're here, right? So how can that become useful into your career, and how to balance that and not play too much is things that we will learn about in this class. And that's why you're learning about play. I just answered my own question. So just thinking off the top of your head, what is your idea of play? James says, I'm here because this career is fun. I intend to play every day and get paid for it. Awesome. Wesley says games. Kale says jamming on guitar, skateboarding, paddleboarding with my friends, video games, doing anything that makes me happy. I'm just reading what you guys are writing in the chat box. Poker, games, video games, spoken word, musician, thought process, musical instruments. All right, so some of you have an idea of what is play for you, and sometimes it might be something related to your career choice or the degree program that you're in, or maybe it's in addition to that, you also like to enjoy other things, but it's different for everybody. It's personal to you. But one thing that we all have in common with our play activities is that play brings joy. And hopefully you enjoy my playground pictures. This brings me joy. You know what brings me joy? Going to playgrounds. I don't know why, but there's a part of me that's like turns into a little kid when I'm like, ooh, what's at this playground? So when I was in Switzerland, with my family this summer, I made a game to go to a new playground every day. So all of my slides in the first half of this second lecture, I guess, are from there. So that brings me joy, but some people might go past the playground and be like, I have no interest in checking that out. This playground, actually, if you can see it in the background, there is a roller coaster that is like a natural roller coaster. So it looks like kind of like a little cart that you sit on, and you have a brake so you can brake as you go down the hill. And it was so amazing with that view in the background. I was a little nervous, but it was literally like pure joy. So I had fun. Anyway, what I'm trying to get you guys to start thinking about is that, oh, I missed a slide here, is that play is not just for children, okay? Our perceived notion is that, society tells us we shouldn't be playing. Play is unproductive. Play is silly. Play is a waste of time. Once we reach adulthood, we need to get serious. We have professional responsibilities. You don't have time to play. But take a minute and think about a person in your life that is all work and no play. Not fun, right? What did I get 10 points off for, Kevin? Spelling? Did I spell something wrong? James says, wait a second. There's time to meet other people outside school and kids? We're going to try to make that happen. Yeah, this is in Switzerland. But all the playgrounds look like this beautiful, which is why I had to take pictures. They definitely value play. You know what I also liked? In Switzerland, almost every single restaurant or cafe had a little play area for children in the corner. So you could sit and drink your coffee and your kids could go play a puzzle. And I was so happy and grateful for that. And restaurants. They have playrooms at restaurants where you put your kids in there and they play, and then you go get them because the kids only eat for 5 minutes, and you're like, well, my food's not even out yet, right? So it is something sometimes related to culture. And does our culture really believe that play is important, that play benefits children? Well, research shows that there's many benefits of play when it comes to learning, because play not only reduces stress for kids and adults, but it makes children more socially competent, because that's when they learn how to interact with each other. They learn social skills. It also improves working memory and self-regulation. When a kid goes outside and they get that energy out and then they come back and sit down, they're going to be a little bit more sharper and a little better behaved. Unfortunately, there's a trend in education that's focusing on standardized testing, on monitoring and measuring and quantifying what students learn, and it's forced teachers to spend more of the school day in direct instruction, and it's less time for children to just have spontaneous fun or free play. I worked at elementary school before coming to Full Sail, and I was a counselor there, and only kindergarten, first, and second grade had recess. So that means third, fourth, and fifth graders sat in a classroom all day and only got up to go to lunch, or maybe they had a special, like physical education or something a couple times a week. And you think these kids are going to be well behaved? It made me so upset, because these kids just needed to let off steam. And even if I have to sit at my desk all day long, I'll go crazy. I need to get up and walk around, and I can't just be constantly working 8 straight hours a day. I need a break sometimes to have fun, or to talk to a friend, or go for a walk at work. These are things that are important. And are we really going to deprive our children of these unstructured time to play with friends? We're shortchanging them just because we are drilling academics, but we actually might be inhibiting their development. Now, I'm not going to say every school is like that, okay? That's not true. It's different, and some places are better than others, but Florida is one of the worst. Just saying. Yes, got rid of recess. I know. It's a literally a crime, I think. It should be. All right, so let's watch a video about the importance of play in children, because that's where it all begins, right? Your first ideas of what play is were from your childhood, right? The things that you like to do. So go to the material section in your go-to training panel and click on the button, the link that says children and play, and then when you're finished watching the clip, type done in the chat box, please. If you didn't hear me, we are watching the clip in the material section called Children and Play. All right, it looks like most of you are finished. I know some of you struggled to find the clip. We do show a lot of clips in this class during the training, so make sure you're familiar with where the material section is if you're on your computer, and if you're on the app on your phone, I don't know where it is, but try to look for it. Okay. All right, so just a reminder that play is a universal need for children. It is something that all children do. It is where we learn what we like to enjoy. It's where we have fun. It's where we learn about ourselves and we learn about each other. Okay? It's primal. And Gussie, yes, adults too. Which brings us to our next clip. Let's watch adults have fun too. So go to your material section now and click on Elevator Joy Bomb. I'll also put it in the chat box. Doo-doo-doo. All right, looks like most of you are done or just finishing up. So yes, sometimes it is hard for adults to have fun, but it is possible. Imagine going to work and you're in the elevator and you're like, another boring Monday. Oh, I'm just going into the office. And that happens, right? And you might crack a smile or you might laugh or maybe you sing along. But whatever it is, you're going to go into the office and have a smile on your face and be like, oh my gosh, guess what just happened to me in the elevator? And all of a sudden your day is a little bit brighter. Right? So, why can't we do this stuff more often? You know, it doesn't have to be so complicated, but just having fun and enjoying ourselves. Sometimes we are afraid to do that as adults. Not everybody, but some of us. So, just a reminder that play can be beneficial for adults too. Probably have a good day after that, and it probably, is contagious. Defining play. So, we said that play brings joy and that play is personal to you. So, is there any research out there that actually defines play? Well, There's an amazing guy called Stuart Brown, and he wrote the book Play, How It Shapes the Brain, Opens the Imagination, and Invigorates the Soul. And he is the founder of the National Institute for Play. So basically, he is like the main player in this play revolution. I would encourage you to read that book if you have some time. It's pretty short. It's not too hard of a read. But he basically says that this is based on his research. He says it's not so easy to define because it means different things to different people. But he says that there are 7 properties that play usually you experience when you're playing. Okay? So we're going to go through them. The first is apparently purposeless. So this means you're playing, you're not trying to gain anything, you're playing just to play. Which is why people say it's a waste of time, right? Because you're not trying to get anything out of it. It's not really, you're not trying to gain anything. You're just doing it because you like it. There's not really a true purpose other than having fun. Well, yes, Brogan's right. You gain happiness. Yes, that's true. It's also voluntary. You're not required to do it. You do it because you want to, right? Pretty straightforward. Think about all the things that you enjoy. You do it because you want to, not because someone's telling you to do it. You're inherently attracted to it. You play because it's fun. You're naturally drawn to the activity. You may not be able to specifically describe why you like it, like how I am about playgrounds and why they fascinate me, but you just feel this connection. It's exciting, it's arousing, it's a cure for boredom, right? That's that inherent attraction. Think about things that you are attracted to that you enjoy. Freedom from time. Think of a time when you were engaged in an activity and you lost all sense of time while completing it. You may have looked up from a video game or a painting or a recording session or some activity and you realize, oh my gosh, it's that time already? Like that much time has passed? Well, that's an example of a quality of play. Like you're not thinking about what you have to do next, you're just enjoying the moment and time just seems to fly by. Yeah, feels pretty good. I think it definitely shows how play is a stress reliever. You're not worrying about other things. Gussie says, makes it hard on relationships. Yeah, sometimes you get so involved, right, that you gotta snap yourself out of it. You gotta set a timer, right? Okay, diminished consciousness of self. What do you think this means? Diminished consciousness of self. Any guesses? Wesley says not thinking about it. Christine says denying how you really want to feel because of a larger group you are in. Stop judging yourself, says Danielle. Or Gabrielle. Jeez, I can't read today. Jaquan says you're in a trance of happiness. Basically, yeah, I think you're getting the idea. It's similar to losing track of time, but sometimes the activity is so enthralling that you also lose yourself a little bit. Like you're not worried about how you look or if you look awkward or not smart or goofy or whatever. Those worries go away. You're in the zone. You don't care what other people think. You're just enjoying yourself. You ever see someone when you're at a red light and they're just like jamming out in their car, singing on the top of their lungs? Like they don't care that we're staring at them, right? They're just listening to that song and they're having so much fun singing along that they don't care. That's diminished consciousness of self. Not worried about what other people think of you. Just enjoying yourself. Improvisational potential. Well, what does this mean? Improvisational. Has anyone ever been to a improv show? Like an improv comedy show. Okay, a couple of you. Or you've probably seen this type of comedy. Yeah, in the show, Kevin says, whose line is it anyway? It's a bit more spontaneous. It's creative. Um, James says a lot of YouTube is improv, especially vlogs and such. Yeah, that's a good point. So basically, it means you're open to change. You're not in like a rigid way of doing things. Just like in an improv comedy show, people throw out ideas and like, okay, you just go with it and you kind of make stuff up as you go along. You're being open-minded, right? You're opening yourself up to new ideas, to new behaviors. And play is a process where you're able to improvise and make changes to the activity as you go along if you want to. You know, we see things in a different way. We can have fresh insights, creative ideas. That all is part of play. I always think about, when we spontaneously play, the floor is lava with my kids, and we're hopping from cushion to cushion, not touching the floor. And then all of a sudden, my daughter's like, "Oh, there's an alligator over there." And I'm like, "Oh no, we got to jump up on the couch to get the alligator's going to get us." You just improvise it as you play, right, as you go along. And kids tend to do that naturally, but we should also nurture that as we play as an adult and in those activities, being open-minded, coming up with new ideas. Oh, thank you. You sound like an awesome mom. We have fun sometimes. And that's one of the things I think having kids really reminded me of how important playing is. And how cool that I get to teach this class now. Continuation desire. What does this mean? It means if we are in true play, we have the desire to continue doing it, right? The pleasure of us, like that we get out of playing is like, okay, I want to do that again, right? You can't wait. This is continuation desire. It's something that you continue to do. Uh-oh. Let me plug in my computer. 1 second. I'm gonna go dead. All right, I'm good to go. Okay, continuation desire. So those are the 7 qualities of play. These are the characteristics or things that define play, if we can define it, right? And maybe you're playing something and you don't experience all of these qualities. Well, we might not be in true play, right? Because as adults, we are constantly maybe thinking about other things, or we have other responsibilities, and we can't fully immerse ourselves in the activity all the time that we do it. So we might not experience 100% true play every time we engage in a play activity, but some or all, or maybe only a few of these qualities are present in play activities. Just maybe not always all at the same time. Right? It's all about, Stuart Brown says, play has to do more about the attitude and motivation during the activity than what the actual activity is. So it's not really about what you're doing, it's how you feel during that activity. Like they say, it's a journey, not the outcome, But it doesn't have to be all or none. You don't have to have all of those qualities of play to feel joy and to get the benefits of play, right? So you don't have to worry about always having all of those, but those are the ones that can be included. All right. Now I am going to switch my slides to little Danbo. He is a Japanese character, a little card box boy man. You can look it up if you want to know more about it. But he is going to be in my slides now because I'm going to change it up. Keep you guys awake. I know. He's so cute. Okay. Benefits of play. We already talked about that. So we're going to talk about what is your play history. This week we're going to be asking you to think back and reflect on your childhood. Try to remember what play you liked when you grew up. Some of you may still do the same activities today or something similar. You might grew up playing video games and you still continue to enjoy that. But some of you might be like, I don't really know. What would I enjoy doing? Well, think back to your history. Think back of what you used to play when you were little. For example, when I was little, I loved being outside and playing in the dirt and making mud pies and cooking and all this stuff with dirt and pine cones and making some big mess and then trying to serve it to my parents. Well, guess what I like doing as an adult? Cooking, entertaining. I love having my friends over. All my friends always come to my house. I haven't seen like the inside of their houses in like forever because I like having people come over and I enjoy cooking for them, and that's something that I like to do. It brings me joy. This is also something I like to do as a kid. So if you're struggling looking for some play activities to put in your plan, go back in time. Think of what you did as a kid. Maybe if you liked playing Legos, you might enjoy decorating your house and reorganizing things or, making something. I don't know. Think about what you like to do. Hot Wheels. Yeah. So maybe you like going to NASCAR races or working on cars, or I don't know. Maybe you'd like something like that. So think about it. That's something that you can reflect on this week. James said, I enjoyed science fiction strategy games that required me to think and, hold on, it scrolled up, and break down problems. Now I literally create videos breaking down and analyzing things about science fiction. Yep. So some of you might say, I've been playing the same thing and I still try to do it today, and that's my passion. Yeah. So think about what is your play history. Then think about, well, what's your play personality? So we're going to go through the play personalities and I want to see which ones you can relate to. There's a little fun video on the platform that you can watch about it. And not everyone has one, or maybe sometimes people say, well, I'm more than one play personality. And that's possible. There might be a little part of each play personality in you, or you might be, nope, this is me. So it's a mix, but just be open-minded to thinking about what role you kind of play. So the Joker. The Joker is that person when you were growing up in school, the class clown, always making silly faces and joking around and playing around and being silly and would not get embarrassed, or a friend that always likes to play pranks on other people or makes funny videos, right? That's the Joker. Pretty straightforward. Some of you can relate. Oops. Joker. Reginald said, getting in trouble for not doing work, had to call my mom up to the school. Yes, because, kids are not supposed to play when they're in school. Yeah, Joker's probably struggled in the academic setting. Kinesthetic. What does this mean? Basically, this is a person that likes to move. They find themselves happiest when they are doing something like dancing, swimming, or walking. This is athletes. They naturally want to push their bodies and feel the result. But it could also be people that just enjoy leisurely sports like football or yoga or dancing. And these people, this play personality might play games, but competition is not their main focus. So it's not about being a part of the team and we're going to win. It's more about like, I want to push my body and be the best blank out there. That's the kinesthetic. Kevin says, dancing to solve math problems in school. Yeah, totally. So, those people that are always like, their foot's always moving, like they're always like jiggling their foot, or they always have to like pace when they're talking. Sometimes that could be part of your kinesthetic personality. Always needing to move, move, move. It helps you think. Okay, next we have the explorer. So, exploring the world around us. This can be physically, literally going to new places, or it could be emotional, like wanting to learn more about your feelings and, take quizzes to find out more about yourself. You probably love the E3. Um, or maybe it's mental, like you like to research new things and learn new things, and you want to explore all there is about a certain topic so you can learn everything that there is about it and have a new experience. I know this is definitely my play personality. I love traveling. So literally exploring new places. And, as a kid, I would pretend I was exploring new places and imagine myself going on trips through dinosaur times and, you know, um, have my backpack of snacks and tools. But it doesn't have to be physical, like I said. It can also be mental exploring or an emotional exploring. Yeah, learning new things, watching TED Talks, NPR. Yes, that you would probably definitely be the explorer personality. The competitor. This is a person who likes to win. They like games that are competitive. They like rules. They like fighting to be number one. This is the person that when you play Monopoly, you argue with them about the rules. And you're like, it's not that serious. It's supposed to be fun. And they're like, no, these are the rules. We have to keep score. This is important. They get really, really into it. Or they might like to play video games or something that they do by themselves, and they can still be competitive, right? I'm going to beat my score, or I'm going to get to the next level before I go to sleep. That could be your competitive side as well. Or it could even be like you like sporting events, and you are a diehard baseball fan or basketball or football, and you go to every single game and wear your jersey and get really into it. It could be any of that. Definitely not me either, Cassie. Yes, but we're all different. Yep, yep. Then there's the director play personality. They like planning, executing scenes and events. They like to kind of be in control and say, this person here, this person here. They like to be organizers. They're the party planners. When you get together with your friends, they're the ones that come up with the ideas and say, okay, well, let's do this or let's go here. Sometimes they can be a little bit power hungry, but they also could be very organized, and they could also like telling people what to do, but they're good at it. So I don't know about who relates to that in here, but director personality. Collector. So the thrill of play for this person is to have the best or the most interesting assortment of objects or experiences. So someone that collects figures or I was going to say CDs, but who really does that anymore? Maybe old records or books, rare books, or, you have a collection of things. Or it could even be a collection of experiences. Like, I am going to travel to every single state in the United States before I die. And it has to be, you have to do every single one. Like, it's not about the places and exploring. It's about, I want to check it off my list of I collected all these experiences. Gabriella says I've always collected crystals and read about them. Yeah. CD? What is a CD? Yes, James. You must be young. All right. That's the collector. Then we have the artist and creator. So this is a person that enjoys making things, painting, woodworking, pottery, photography, art, sculpture, knitting, sewing, gardening, furniture making, I don't know, just making things. And this is a person that might want to show their work to the world, or they might do it just for their own joy. Arts and crafts, yeah. Okay, probably, I'm guessing, several of you in here. are the artist creator. All right, we have one left, and that is the storyteller. So this is a person that's a playwright or a cartoonist or a screenwriter or a novelist. So they experience joy from writing, or they experience joy from reading novels or watching movies or getting into the storylines, or even filmmakers can be storytellers, right? They put they make themselves a part of the story. They tell a story through images or through words or through video or through songs. Yes, exactly. It could also be a performer, someone that likes dancing, acting, or even sometimes lecturing. People tell stories when they're giving lectures or TED Talks, right? A lot of those people would be considered storytellers, you know. Um, yep, a lot of people in here also relate to storytellers. Awesome. Yeah. Or Kevin's like, no, not really me. Exactly. So it's a personal thing. You might connect with some of these and not others, and that's just your personality. So that might help you think of, okay, if I know my play personality, I can find some activities to put in my schedule that I think would fit with that, right? It's going to give you some ideas, help you learn a little bit about yourself. Okay, so Kevin is explorer and competitor. And this is something you can also talk about in your discussion board post too on Wednesday this week. If you connected with the play personalities, talk about that. That could be when you talk about your concepts. I think it's question 4. You explain what each one is. Okay, I'm the Joker personality. This is what the Joker personality is. Here's an example of why I was a Joker in my childhood. Here's an example of how I'm a Joker in my adult life and the things that I enjoyed to do. Boom, there's your whole paragraph. All right, Gabriella has 4 ones she relates to: explorer, creative, collector, storytelling. Jaquan is director and artist. Okay, Kale, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. I'm horrible with names. Okay, Kale. Okay. I'm a Joker explorer who is a storyteller with a competitive edge. All right, I like that. James, Joker and storyteller. Cameron, artist, storyteller, Joker. Okay. So a lot of you identify with more than one. And yeah, depending on the day, exactly, you might feel inclined to do a certain activity that relates to a certain play personality. Okay, so we're gonna do a little quick break to watch a 1-minute dance off clip in your materials section. When you are finished watching, please type done in the chat box. Okay, why do you think I'm showing this clip? Well, what play personalities do you think you see in this clip? And why, I should say. Well, obviously, kinesthetic, Christian, very good. Because they're using their bodies, they're pushing them to the limits. Obviously, dancing like that is not something that everyone can do. Competitor, yes. They're competing, right? It's a dance-off. They want to show the other team or, I don't know, group their moves. Who has the best moves? Also competitive. Okay. Yep. So we got competitor, we got kinestet. I'm thinking one other one. No. No. Nope. No. Storytelling! James got it. But you have a question mark, like you're not sure. James. Storytelling. I've been thinking storytelling, right? They're telling a story with their bodies, right? About what kind of mood they're in or what kind of um, people they're portraying, right? With their bodies, with the music. It makes me think of I don't know if I used to watch that show. So You Think You Can Dance, right? It all tells a story. Very cool. Okay, so you guys got the idea. So, play as adults. This is a new concept. Maybe, maybe not. But now we get it. We get what it means. Now, if you don't get it, I'm going to give you some ideas of things you can do now to incorporate play into your life. So, what's the research on play? Well, there is some, and here's what it says. Play connects us to other people. It strengthens our sense of community. It helps heal disagreements and emotional wounds and improves the quality of our relationships. Think about when you're on the playground when you were a kid. You get into an argument or something. But then 5 minutes later, you see those two kids playing another game and they're having a good time together, right? Play is a way to kind of, I know that's something I have to do to snap my kids out of their temper tantrums. I have to do something playful or silly to kind of snap them out of it. And that helps us reconnect, right? Or my husband, when he starts getting on my nerves and I'm starting to get angry, I have to do something silly or make a joke or tickle him or something like that just to reconnect us, right? So play is a way to do that, being playful. Play fosters creativity, flexibility, and learning. When you're playing, you become curious about other things. You become inspired. You become imaginative. And it helps you solve problems because you're using your brain in a different way. Also, play helps reduce your stress levels. So if you're less stressed, you're typically more productive, or you're more fun to be around, or you could come up with more creative ideas, right? And it can help improve your relationships. So all of those things are things that you want in your industry, right? That's really creative. You want to be flexible, right? You want to be able to solve problems. You want to be have good relationships with the people around you, be pleasant. Play can help you do that. Play is an antidote to loneliness, isolation, anxiety, and depression. This is what the research shows. When we play vigorously, we trigger a mix of endorphins that not only lift our spirits and make us feel better because of those endorphins running through our body, but it also creates some distance from the pain or the fear or those other emotional burdens that we're experiencing. And when we play with other people, whether they're friends or strangers, we're reminded, hey, well, I'm not alone in this world. I can connect with other people. And that can help banish loneliness. So if you are feeling isolated, anxious, depressed, lonely, play is a way to conquer that. It can help lift your spirits immediately. So whenever you're in a funk, force yourself to play, and you'll see how helpful it is. Play teaches us, I like what Kevin says, World of Warcraft helps so many people. The community was a great ground in the game. Yeah, so just playing games with other people, even if it's virtually, right? Having that sense of community and connection really helps people, right? Especially if they're feeling depressed and isolated. Play also teaches us perseverance. Think about when you're playing a video game when you're a kid and you're just trying to beat that next level. and you keep trying and trying again. Well, we learn this skill of perseverance from playing games because we want to keep trying until we get it. We want to keep doing double dutch until we get it, right? Whatever it is. And as adults, we like feeling rewarded when we master a new skill or we learn something, and perseverance is a trait that we need, right, in healthy adulthood. And we learn that a lot of times through play. Also, side note, perseverance and violence are rarely found together. Play makes us happy. Beyond all those excellent reasons, play brings us joy. And jumping into and out of the world of play on a daily basis, even if it's a short amount of time, can nourish our hearts and the hearts of our communities. Makes us happier people to be around. And that's important in this day and age, especially when there's a lot of what going on in the world that is horrible to hear and see and witness. A little play goes a long way. You don't need to play every second of the day. I'm not telling you to, play for 10 hours a day and until your significant other is like, "What are you doing?" And you say, "My teacher told me to." No. Even a little bit can go a long way. So making sure that you create some balance and you're not playing too much. But even if you only have time for a little bit, that's okay too. So Stuart Brown explains in his book, he says, the opposite of play is not work. He says, the opposite of play is depression. Right? When we feel challenged, when we feel accomplished, that's when we are able to change and feel happier. But if we're burdened by an overwhelming sense of responsibility, then that's going to decrease our happiness. So play is often looked down upon at work, in a work environment. But, think about a person like that that you've worked with before. They're miserable. They hate life. They're negative all the time. They get tunnel vision, and they're not able to see new and exciting ideas, and they don't like change because that means they have to do more work, right? But people who play, they see things completely different. They learn to bring joy into the workplace and have lower stress, and that's going to help them be more productive. So you might think, I can't play, I have to work. But if you stop and take a break to play, it'll make your work much easier and you'll feel more refreshed. And that's why we have to play. Now remember, everyone's play is different. I'm not telling you have to go out here and go to playgrounds and swing on the swings. You do what you like to do. There's no one miracle strategy that works for everyone, so find what works for you. And that's why you do a little play activity every day in your plan. And then hopefully at the end of the week, this week, you'll say, oh, okay, this is what I gravitated to, or this day I missed it because I wasn't really into this idea. That's when you kind of make some changes in your plans. And if you like playgrounds, that's fine too. So reconnecting with play, what are you going to do? Well, you got to change how you think about play. You got to stop feeling guilty about it. It's important. Now you know research shows how beneficial play is, so don't feel bad about playing. Obviously, you need to have balance. I'm not saying to play all day, but don't feel that guilt. Take a play history. Like we said, go back in time. Think about the things you enjoyed as a child and how that can relate to things that you might do now as an adult. Surround yourself with playful people. If you're around a Debbie Downer or a negative Nancy all day long, or that's how your friends act, or the people that you spend your majority of your time with, it's going to make it more difficult for you to play and enjoy yourself. So find people that like to play the same things you do, or find people that have a playful spirit. That's going to help you play more too. Play with little ones or pets. If you have kids in your family, or your own kids, or friends that have kids, play with them. They really like I said earlier, being a mother has really showed me how fun it can be to just let go and do something silly and have a good time. And pets. I mean, I have a cat, and my cat does not like to play with me. But if you have a dog, maybe, or a nice cat, not like my cat, you can understand what I mean by that. All right. So, hopefully, you have some ideas of how to start playing if you're not already, and what that means, and what to put in your plan. Um, Today, we definitely looked at how to define play, the 7 qualities of play. We looked at research into play and play personalities. So, hopefully, you have some ideas of what you'd like to write about in your discussion board this week. And make sure you're doing all the readings, like I said. So, let's end on a little clip of an adult who loves to play. So, go to your material section and click on Never Leave the Playground, and then type done in the chat box when you are finished. All right, it looks like you guys are finishing up. What do you think of this dude? I kind of want to be friends with him and go to his house and hang out. I don't know about you guys. Or maybe you think he's crazy, but he definitely has some really great ideas about play and just commits. I know. He has a whole website. If you look up neverleavetheplayground.com, he has a whole website with a bunch of videos, and I think he has like a book or something, and so he's definitely a personality. Just a great way to finish the class for today, saying that we don't have to be as extreme as he is, but play is something that's valuable, and it's time we start paying attention to that. So, what have we learned today? What is the main thing you're taking away from this class? To play more in life. All right. That's the basic gist of it. Playing is important. Awesome. Don't be ashamed to play. It's not a waste of time. Yes, Cameron. Learn more about yourself and how you play so that you can implement it daily. All right. Play is beneficial to our health. Awesome. Get up and dance. Oh, I like that. We have to all go have a dance party now to wake up. Play is just as important as work. Yeah, all about balance. Okay, well, hopefully you enjoyed today. You learned something new, or if not, just reinvigorated you, and hopefully you're a little bit excited about the class, and it'll help you get through the assignments this week. If you have any questions whatsoever, please reach out to your individual instructor. And have a wonderful Thanksgiving week. Just make sure you get those assignments in on time.